Hi. Today I'm talking to Rose Dyson. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
So obviously she saw the thing I posted out about asking people to come and talk about COVID and vaccines or whatever they feel on the subject. So Rose has got in touch with me, and just to say before, we don't really know each other, do we? I think we met once before. So it's over social media. She saw my post and just decided she wanted to talk. So Rose, please take it away. Start wherever you feel.
So I've had one vaccine. I got the first one in September, I think. And I was going to get my second one about 2 months ago, and I got COVID. Yay.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. I had it for maybe like 4 days or something. It was pretty bad the first 2 days, but I got over it. But I was isolating for a little while, and I got thinking, which it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's quite productive. And I'm really glad I didn't get my second dose, because the first time I got it, I was thinking, I just wasn't thinking. I was just right, well, this is what everybody else is doing. This is the right thing to do. You know, we're helping people. And so I got it. And I kind of regret it now, because the way they've gone about it and the way they've sort of controlled everyone in a way by making them believe that if you get the vaccine, I didn't actually turn my notification off. If you don't get the vaccine, then you're killing people. That's essentially what they're saying, and they're shaming people and dividing people. And I don't want to be a part of something that they're trying to create in that way. They're just dividing people and making them feel ashamed of something that they might not be able to do. You know, my brother can't have the vaccine because he just doesn't like needles. That's not his thing, and so he decided not to do it. And I think that's a perfectly valid reason. I don't think you need a reason to not do this, but they're making you feel just like a terrible person if you're not being vaccinated. So I'm deciding not to get the second dose. I know that's going to affect my freedom. I know that I may not be able to travel, which is what I really want to do. But I just think I just want to be on the side that I believe in.
Interesting. So you're saying if you could go back and not have the first one, you would?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you not feel that it is helping in any way? Do you not think that it's made a difference to the whole pandemic? What's your opinion on that?
I think so. I think it protects yourself. So I know a few people who've had the vaccine where they know it's going to protect the children that they have. Like if they don't catch it, they know that it's going to help other people, which is true in some way, but we don't know the full extent of it. So I totally am all for people getting the vaccine if that's what they want to do. I want people to make choices that, you know, they understand the consequences of each decision they're making.
Sure thing. Yeah, very interesting stuff. So you've mentioned beforehand that you work as a charity fundraiser, correct?
Yeah.
So you said, like, when you messaged me originally, you said you've spoke to quite a lot of people. Like, that's what you do for a living, isn't it? Talk to people. So what's the general consensus on the streets about this subject?
There's a lot of conspiracy theories which I like to listen to. I think they're really interesting. There's a lot of fear mongering, I believe, and a lot of older people have been too scared to come outside because they're afraid that they're going to catch the virus, and that's not helping them to, you know, socialize and be with people anymore. Some people haven't been outside in weeks, and they're just sort of getting back into the swing of things, and there's going to be another lockdown, and yeah, so there's a lot of people who are scared, a lot of people who think it's just a lot of bullshit, and the government got this you know, whole scheme going on to destroy the planet. So a lot of it's fun.
Is that what you think then?
No, I don't think so. I just think that this thing happened, like it usually does, like all these other plagues that have happened. But I know that the government and the authorities have found some way to control that and use it to their own advantage. I know that the guy who I was with during the first lockdown, he actually used that to his own advantage. So he just kept me inside the whole day, every day, and didn't really, he controlled that aspect of our lives. And that's, I believe, is what a lot of people are doing.
Right. So it's like a giant control thing to say, no, you can't do this or can't do that, to a point.
In a way, I don't know. I don't know the reason. I just know that there's something got to be behind it. I just don't know what, because I'm just a fundraiser.
So you say, well, I'm interested to know then. So you'd say you took the first one because you just did, because that's what was happening. So what was it that changed your mind? What happened in the middle of that event from then till the moment you were like, I don't want the second one, and didn't want the first one in hindsight?
I was very scared of social media. I thought that was gonna like affect how I feel about things, because it'll start getting me thinking. So I avoided it for a lot of the time, and I just thought about it, and I came to my own decision while I was in my own lockdown, because I had coronavirus. I did a lot of thinking, and I just thought, this isn't really what I'm for. And then I started reaching out to some people, asking them what they thought about it. And I got a lot of different views. And I sort of, like, similar to what you're doing, like I didn't want to make my decision before actually, asking other people, and which is what I did on the streets as well. So I don't know. I think I just gave myself time to actually think about what I want to do with this, and if I actually want to go for the next vaccine.
Sure thing. It's like you say, you've not seen the video I've literally just posted earlier, but I've had my third one now, and the first two, I was very much like, it was almost like the first, like, I'm like, I've definitely been to the point when I'm like, really like, yes, the vaccine is definitely the right thing to do. Almost got a bit angry with people who haven't taken it. I don't quite feel like that at the moment. And I went for my third one, and it was, the first two was fine. I didn't think anything of it particularly. The third one though, I was waiting, and I was like, do I need to do this? And it was a bit, I actually cringed or like yelped a little bit when she put the needle in, and this woman was like, I didn't think you'd be like that. And I was like, I'm not like that. Like the first two, I literally sat there, didn't feel anything, but something felt a bit wrong. And I'm not saying it felt wrong as in I shouldn't have done it or anything. Like, I honestly don't care, to be honest. I don't think there's an issue with it. Genuinely, I think my personal opinion on the whole of the coronavirus is, in about 10 years or less or whenever, it will just be like a thing that happened in the history book, and it won't be a thing anymore. That's what I see. Because people hold on to things in the moment, but I mean, we don't. I mean, we still do talk about World War II, but it's, we weren't alive then. It's like the next generations aren't gonna be talking about this as much as we are, because we're in it. Anyway, that's a whole other thing, I suppose. But yeah, I find it interesting that for something that potentially it should be quite black and white, really, it isn't. As in, I don't know if it's whether everyone should just have it, there you go, done, don't talk about it, or everyone should have the choice of not. And we talk about being in a, the government controlling us, yet we are in a place where we can technically choose to have it or not still. And like, I've got a friend who lives in France now, and then they are COVID passports for everything, like militantly. We are quite relaxed still in this country. Whether that'll change or not, who knows? But as far as it is at the moment, I look at Wales, Scotland, and Ireland at the moment, Northern Ireland, they are all back in restrictions, whereas we're still not. So some things there. I'm not saying good or bad, I'm just saying that's what it is at the moment. So yeah, very interesting. So what other thoughts have you got on the subject? Anything while you're here?
Well, I got thinking about masks, right?
Yeah, please go.
I was definitely one of those people where I thought, if you're not wearing a mask, you know, you're an idiot. And I saw these protesters with their signs saying, I don't know what they were saying, but I just thought it was a load of bollocks. But then again, I really started thinking about it and researching it, and apparently it doesn't do anything. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. But I tend to avoid wearing a mask because I just don't think it's gonna save anybody. A piece of cloth is not gonna do much. So if somebody asked me to put one on, I'm not gonna be a dickhead and say no. I don't know how far down this rabbit hole I'll go. Right now I'm just like, yeah, okay, I will comply. But the thing I'm worried about the most is if they say you can't travel, and you can't travel if you don't get the vaccine. That's what I'm worried about most. And because I know that, you know, that's them putting my freedom on the line, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. But that means also that I will have to comply if I want to actually do what I want to do. So I'm in a battle myself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are. So if it came to the point that you had to have the rest of the vaccine to travel, would you do it? Just like, yeah, I will do it and just go traveling. And would you do that?
I really don't know. I still have no idea. Because it's not just that. It's not just about me. It's about what it's standing for and who I'm standing for. So I have no idea. I really don't.
Interesting. Well, there's a point on mask, actually. I thought about this. It was something someone I know said. So like, I thought it was a good point, but it's not. So it's not originally from me. I could have taken credit for it, and no one would ever know, but I'll say it anyway. About the mask thing. Now, he was saying that wearing a mask, personally, he didn't care. It was like, he wasn't doing it for him. But say if you're in a post office and there's a little old lady, you know, in the height of the pandemic, she's there in the corner, and you walk in, no mask, proudly not wearing your mask. This poor little woman might be really afraid of what's going on at the moment. And so he's saying that the mask it's for other people as well. It's not just for yourself, it's for everyone. So it's just something to think about, I think, when wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. Like, I don't know if it's a statement to not wear it and be like, look, we shouldn't have to wear a mask. This is me not wearing one. Or just be like, hey, society, I'm happy to keep you happy and stuff. So do you know what I mean? It's like, and then we've got the whole other issue of the fact that there is a pandemic and these masks might actually be helping and saving lives. Because I think a lot of people who don't, like, we're in the conversation now about the wearing a mask and how it affects yourself or other people's feelings, but the reality could as very much easily be that it is actually helping, and like, people might have died because of people were not wearing masks, for example. It is possible. Yeah.
I was thinking that recently. Again, I do think it comes from the fear mongering, but again, we have no idea if it is helping or not. However, my dad has just got coronavirus for the second time, I think, and he was working on the streets with us as well. Okay. And he was very much, he'd wear his mask all the time, he'd keep his distance. He's had 2 or 3 vaccinations. I think it's just 2 vaccinations. So he's been doing all of it, and he's still got it. So that's made me thought a lot as well. Made me think.
That's another thing that's got me thinking, because same with my dad, he was very much, well, is very much like, you know, don't come round at this time, wear your mask, all above board. He literally got his 3rd vaccine earlier than others because he asked the doctor, could he have it? You know, he's very much, and just before Christmas he got coronavirus. So no. I know, exactly. I mean, so that's the part that got me thinking too. Like, I will go and say I think the vaccine has helped the whole pandemic, to be fair. I'm not saying that's not the case, from my opinion. Yet you can have 3 vaccines and still get it. Now that part did get me thinking, because it's like, what other, I mean, I don't know, do you take like a polio vaccine and then still get polio? I don't know. Measles vaccine, still get the measles. Like, I don't know. So I mean, it's like Joel, the last guest I had on, he said about it being it's an evolving virus, like as in these new strains keep coming out. So as they keep evolving, they're evolving beyond the point of the previous vaccines. So when I went for my third one, I asked the woman, I was like, so is this just us forever now? And she was like, I don't know. She was like, Israel have started doing their fourth at the moment, so let's just see how it pans out, I suppose. I mean, maybe this is just us now. This is reality. But
do you feel like getting jabs every few months just to keep yourself going, even though you know that you're going to get the virus either way?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because like that's when I'm at the point I was going in for this third one. I've got a friend who'd only had one, like you, and they got it, and they were fine. I think they got ill, but they didn't go to hospital or die or anything. So I think that's the point that's got me thinking. Like I say, I don't want to change opinion and say that I don't think it's helping, but I mean, the alternative is if we'd not had any of these vaccines, we might all be in hospital now. We don't know. We've gone beyond the point now to know if that's the case. I mean, we'll only know when there's a wave of unvaccinated people getting coronavirus over the next few months and years and see what happens to them. And if they don't have any worse effects than the people who have been vaccinated, then it's hard. It's interesting to see how it will pan out. So yeah, I suppose that's where I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Right. Any other questions? See, I don't come into these like prepared. I'm no interviewer, so I'm literally just freestyling right now. What else is an issue? Let's talk conspiracies. That's always a nice angle. So what have I heard?
I haven't heard much, to be honest.
No. So
no, like they've all been pretty reasonable. That's why it doesn't really seem like conspiracies to me, but I haven't heard the wacko ones.
All right, well, go on. Name a few then. If you don't mind going there, like if you say these sound reasonable, what have you heard that sounds reasonable?
Well, it being planned. I mean, I don't agree with it personally, but the way this government's going, it seems quite likely. It doesn't seem logical to me because you're not exactly gonna create a virus to kill people. But like, I don't know, man. These people are wackos. You never know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't really. The way I see that is, I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I don't think it makes a difference to the situation we're in now. Like, I think, like the video I just put out earlier, I mentioned something like, if there is a shadow government or an elite power controlling everything, and if you told me that now and it was true, I don't think I'd really be bothered either way. I don't think it would change my life. I don't think it makes a difference. Do you know what I mean? Not really. I mean, what do you think life's dramatically going to change outside? I mean, is there going to be a real difference if that is the case? Because the way I've seen, okay, this is a good thing I was thinking. There's always something, there's always a thing, and the thing doesn't usually come. As in, back in the 70s and 80s, it was the Russians and the Cold War, and everyone was scared they were going to be nuked all the time. And then, more recently in the millennium, 21st century, we've had, the Taliban and ISIS, they're coming to get us. And now we've got the virus and, the elite, and they're going to come and get us. It's like something's always coming to get us all the time. It is. Something's always coming to get us. That's we're in a state of, we're always under attack by something, and most of the time it never comes until then something else is coming to attack us. And the thing that was, it's they're never coming to attack us at the same time. There's only one. It's generally one thing at a time. and then when the new thing's coming, the other thing goes away for a bit. I don't know.
What's the next thing, bro? What's gonna happen?
What's the next thing? I don't know. Robot bees.
Oh,
Robot bees. Why
like,
not?
I'll be down for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, very, thanks for coming on and talking. Like, it's very obviously, like, do you mind me putting this out onto the internet?
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, so I think it means a lot, like coming on, saying your views and stuff like that, because people aren't doing it. Like I said, someone said, oh, I don't want to talk about that because we'll just disagree. And I was like, all right, well, I'll ask the world and then I'll talk to the rest of the world instead. If you don't want to talk to me, I'll talk to everybody else. And as we've just established, like, we don't particularly necessarily we agree on some things, not everything. And I mean, if we dramatically disagreed on everything, I don't think it doesn't mean like we're going to have a big argument and start shouting at each other. And that's what I want to try and get to the bottom of, people just having normal conversations again, even though they disagree. Hopefully we can get there.
I think it's because most people they either have an opinion and they voice it too loudly, or they're just like, oh, I don't want to cause any arguments or anything. But you actually want to get to the bottom of it, and I think that's incredible. Like, actually finding out for yourself from other people is really wise. So thank you.
Yeah, for that. Sure thing. Okay, let's see. How long have we gone for? I don't even know. All right. Have you got anything else to say, or should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't have much on the subject, just my own ponderings.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Rose. I will pop this video up onto the internet soon. Right. Nice. Good talking to you.
You too, man. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
How to leave this thing. Oh, here we go.
And